church come out today?
We should be live.
Hi everybody, I am Andrew Chamberlain, the CEO of Jericho Ministries. I want to welcome you all to our live stream of Conversations on the Bench. For the next 24 hours, I'm going to be sitting here having conversations with various individuals from our community who have either experienced homelessness, have went through substance abuse issues, who have faced their own mental health challenges, or individuals that work in this field. So we're going to have a lot of people coming out to converse with me. I'm excited about it. 24 hours. And also during that time, we're going to have staff. We're going to have individuals from Jericho even speak, and we'll also have some national feeds coming in at various times too. So we're excited to have you throughout the evening. If you want to stop by, we're here in the Brooksville Commons. I think I got the exact address correct. It's 15 South Broad. So if you want to put that in your GPS, you can come by. I love my coffee black, so if you want to bring coffee, you can bring black. That was already a question someone asked me, which I was grateful for. But if you've got any questions that you want to pose that we can maybe answer throughout this broadcast, because we're going to be here for a while, for 24 hours, feel free to pose any questions. And I believe you can do that right through our Facebook feed. I think that's the best way to do that. Also, I have a bucket of questions down here that I'll be answering from time to time. But we're going to have our first interview here in just a few moments. But before we do that, I'm going to introduce to you, somebody's going to hopefully be with me all night. This is our VP of Programs. This is Sean, and I'm going to bring Sean in now. So, Sean, you want to have a seat real quick?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is Sean Grant. Sean is our VP of Programs. So, Sean, if you could, tell us a little bit about your role at Jericho. Tell us about how you, just kind of your perspective on things, working in this field, and just kind of let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, of course. Hey, everybody. My name is Sean Grant. Like you said, I'm the VP of Programs here at Jericho Road Ministries. I work daily with our residents. I do a lot of our classwork, a lot of counseling, a lot of things on the spiritual side of our program that we offer. I came to Jericho with my own story coming out of addiction. That maybe, I'm sure at some point in the evening we'll have time, I can share that with everybody, and we can talk about that. But the Lord saved me out of that, and just through His providence, I ended up coming to work here at Jericho, and it is the honor and pleasure of my life. And I could not be any happier to be here, even sitting on a bench for 24 hours. Very excited about it.
Yeah, you've been with us now going on, not quite a year, but...
a year on Friday.
Year on Friday.
Tomorrow, actually.
I knew it was coming up. I knew it was very close, but I didn't think that close. All right, wow, a year.
A year tomorrow.
That's incredible. Well, we're glad to have you, and excited that you're going to... I know I'm excited because now I know I have at least one companion for 24 hours. So, yeah, so it's going to be really good. So, good to have you, Sean. Glad you're with us. Yeah. All right. All right, so that's Sean. He'll be with us throughout the evening. I'm excited to have him pop in from time to time, share different things, converse with him, so forth. But I think we're getting our first interview lined up. So I believe that's going to happen here momentarily. So looking forward to that. So we'll bring her up any moment, I believe.
Okay.
All right, here we go. All right, she's ready. They got the mic and everything.
Okay.
All right. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the bench.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing very well, doing very well. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Just so everybody knows, let everybody know your name. And
My name is Crystal Campbell.
Crystal.
Yes.
It's nice to have you. Got a wasp joining us.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't sting us, right? So yeah, tell us your story, like where you came from, like your journey.
I'm from Sumter County, and
For those who may not know, Sumter County's about northeast of us, where we're at right now.
like Wildwood and Bushnell. So I came from that area. I relapsed, went to jail. I was homeless while I was pregnant. Got a lot of judgment, and went to jail. Came here. I've been here about 6 months.
Here meaning Jericho or
Jericho, yeah.
Hernando County.
Dope came straight to Jericho, and I've been here in Jericho about 6 months, and I have a job, getting my children back, housing, everything is just lined up. God's been there the whole time, and He's made ways. Everything is just lined up.
When did your struggles with substance abuse start for you?
When years and years ago, when I got a divorce, and then I was clean the whole time until I was homeless, and I ended up losing my house, my children, from domestic.
So homelessness came before the substance abuse?
Yes, homeless came, and that's when I relapsed. I'd been clean like.
Oh, so you had a substance abuse issue prior to homelessness?
Right, from depression and things, and
Okay.
when I went through my divorce, and then I got clean.
So go back with me real quick. So your first round of when drugs really started becoming an issue before you became homeless, was it a result of a mental health crisis, or was it
Depression and anxiety, yes sir, yep. When I went through my divorce, I had really bad depression. And then I got help for it, and was clean probably almost 10 years. And when I became homeless and lost my children because of domestic violence, I relapsed.
Okay. So you've experienced homelessness.
Yes, sir.
You've experienced substance abuse.
Yes, sir.
You've experienced jail.
Yes, sir.
You've experienced a domestic situation. Okay,
Yes,
you
sir.
went through the ringer.
Yeah.
How, like, those are all in and of themselves challenging, uniquely challenging situations. How do you think that what do you think that does to you as a person, like forming who you are and how you think and perceive? And
I don't judge people. I got to meet a lot of people, and God is the only one that can judge us, you know. But I don't judge anybody. You don't know what anybody's going through.
so for you, it created a great sense of like understanding.
Yes,
of
sir.
others.
Yes, because you just don't know what somebody's going through, whether it be a behavioral health, you know, physically, mentally, substance. You just don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I think one of the things I've learned in this field, I've been in this field now for, I don't know, I feel like the years go quicker, I'm getting older and all that, but I've been in it for a while now. What I've realized is that, there's a lot of things I've realized, but one of the things is that, like, you really just don't know what someone's went through.
Yes,
and,
sir.
and how many, I'm not saying everything's out of your control or out of someone's control, but there are a lot of things that you don't feel like you have any control over. Would you
Correct.
agree with that?
I will agree with that because I didn't have any control, especially not having stability, until I got to Jericho and was able to have stability. I just was going in circles. I had no control.
Were your, with what you're comfortable sharing here, was your jail time related to your substance abuse issues?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did that give you some stability and some structure and stuff there?
No, not really, because with my my mental health stuff, being cooped up in that jail cell was really worse for
Okay.
me. And they, you know, of course, a lot of times it's a while before you get to see a doctor or this or that, you know, and so many people in there. You don't get one-on-one, and it's hard being in that room, in that cell for so long, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I remember I was going through a jail to visit, do some stuff, and here and I wasn't serving a sentence, but I was there, and I remember hearing the clank, and I can still, you know.
Yes.
It's a very
It's a sound you don't
yeah,
forget.
You don't forget, yeah.
No.
So for you, growing up, did you experience instability in your earlier years before, like, you kind of got on your own?
Well, yes, sir. When I was married and I was married for 15 years. I was 19 when I got married. I made $60,000 plus a year on my own. Had a very successful job and raised 2 daughters. So I was I ran a bunch of
So you're talking, you had a lot of
stores.
stability there.
Yes.
But I meant, like, prior to getting married, prior to having your job, like, in your own formative growing up years, did you
And
have
growing up,
Yeah, was there instability there, or was it a pretty good home?
I had a pretty broken family growing up.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, and I thought that I would be able to recognize things because of that. And I also have a background in law enforcement myself.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir, I have a degree in that. But really, when you get into that stuff at yourself, it's not the same. You don't really know until it hits you.
Because, so if I'm understanding you correctly, you had this picture that, hey, I've experienced instability, I've got my own education, these different things. I'll be able to kind of see it, know it,
Yeah.
but that wasn't really true.
No, sir.
Okay, from your vantage point, because what I've learned is so many of the individuals that are experiencing homelessness are also experiencing mental health issues, and typically they're experiencing substance abuse disorders, and they're co-occurring. Would you agree with that assessment that is kind of not only your personal experience, but also kind of what you've seen?
Yes, sir. Because I mean, really, some people don't even have any of that until if they become homeless because of some kind of emergency situation or whatever. A lot of that stuff can put you
It's
in.
very traumatic.
Yeah, it's very traumatic, and it can put you into those places.
Yeah. I think that's something that people need to understand, because I think a lot of times, well, I shouldn't say a lot of times, I don't really know. It just seems that there are times when people do cast that judgment kind of quickly.
They do, because the town I was from, getting scholarships, things like that, I got a lot of bad, negative feedback from people. I couldn't even get a job if I tried, and then I got other people screaming at me, oh, go get a job. I'm not even begging or anything,
So you're kind of in a rock between a rock and a hard
really
spot.
bad. Yeah, really bad.
Wow.
So,
That's an interesting dynamic, because we're in a more, our area is growing, but it's still not a major metropolitan area.
right, it's more smaller town, like
Sure.
from where I'm
I
from.
wonder if that makes the challenges that we're talking about even more challenging in ways, because everybody knows people.
Yes, sir. Very much so. Very much. Yep.
Wow, that's kind of a newer thought to me.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some other things, like, from your experience, you feel like you've learned and you feel like it's important to share with others?
Well, when I got back into my Bible and I got saved again, and I just started praying to the Lord, that everything just started happening for me, and of course me physically doing it, yes, but because I wanted it so bad, wanted my life to change,
Okay.
I needed a little bit of help to get on my feet, and getting that from Jericho, from just an individual to get me here to Jericho through the jailbridge program in jail. That's all I needed, but the minute I stepped away from the Lord and stepped away from other things, because I thought, why aren't you helping me? It's because I wasn't asking really either.
Okay. So you've mentioned a couple times now how important faith is to you.
It is.
I've learned that from a lot of people that have come from the streets, that faith is a very important component for a lot of people who are trying to recover, trying to get back, so forth.
It is, because really a lot of times that's where you get your acceptance back from people too, is people in the churches and things, because a lot other people are really quick to judge.
So you're saying then that if people that claim to be Christians can accept you or to welcome you back in, it helps open the door for other people to
Yes,
welcome
because a lot of times they know a lot more people in the community, and they can help you out, even with people that have already turned their heads, on you before, are not so quick to turn their heads. They're willing to trust you and put
give that second chance. Okay,
Yes.
that's cool. Tell me about the jail. You said you came to Jericho via jailbridge program?
Through the jailbridge program, that's in Sumter County, I reached out to them, and they came in right away and spoke with me, and were willing to help me, get somewhere, because I didn't have anywhere to go when I got out of jail. So they were able to, they were able to get a hold of Eric's place, the respite, and then send me here.
Okay.
So, yep.
Yeah. That seems like a very important step. That bridge.
The jail bridge. That was what basically saved me to have somewhere to go, or else I would have walked out of jail and been straight on the streets.
Do you think you would have been homeless again?
I would have been, yes, sir. I didn't
And
have
if you were
anywhere to go.
homeless again, the chances of relapse, the chances of the same behaviors happening again, would you agree?
I would have went back because I wouldn't have had anything to look forward to, and getting my children back, and I wouldn't have had anything.
Yeah, it's a common theme with individuals that I don't know if others understand, but it's kind of like when you get behind, unless there's a way to help get you back forward on your own per se, it's pretty difficult.
It's very difficult. It's almost impossible, really. You've got to have the help from somebody, or it's almost impossible, especially nowadays.
Cost of living alone,
Yes,
right?
sir. It's not like the old days, where you can barter with each other, or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, cost of living since, in the last, 5-6 years, it's just so...
Yes, sir.
It's so challenging for individuals that are trying to establish themselves, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to learn how to, once you get back on your feet, if you don't know, especially people more my age, I'm 41, some of them don't know how to make do with recipes or things that, just to feed a family.
Sure.
or food pantries. I know I didn't really know much about that kind of stuff until I became homeless, about food pantries and things, soup kitchens or any of that. But I got to know them, and got help through some of that even before I went to jail. But
that's an important thing that you said there, because there's a lot of different feeding, clothing.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. There's a lot of different feeding, clothing places, and all that's important. Whatever little steps someone can get to kind of help them.
It is, because a lot of people don't know, or they're too embarrassed. But you can't be embarrassed. You got to ask for help.
Especially when you're starting that journey back. Yeah. As we're talking about people that have experienced homelessness, if you don't mind, shed a little bit of light on that. What's that like to not have a place?
Homelessness, it's you're going to make the best of it that you can, but other people are going to come through and take things from you.
So you've been robbed.
They're gonna. You have a chance of, if you're being by yourself, of being abused or in sexually fit, whatever. All of those kind of things can happen. You got to worry about how you're going to eat, and if you get a little bit of food from the grocery store, you got to worry about how you're going to keep it cold. Eating out of dumpsters, you got to have a way to cook. You got to find some kind of tent or something to make coverage in case it rains, or and hope that it's somewhere that you can actually put a tent, or you're not going to get kicked out of that area or whatever. It's so hard. You got to have somewhere you can use the bathroom.
These are all.
Hand wash your clothes. You really got to go back to the old days of doing things.
Then people get a job, and you're like, well, how do I even wash my clothes?
How do you? Yes, it's very hard.
I know, it's so hard.
Yes.
Did you experience any Did you go to any drop-in style stations where they had showers?
We don't really have that from where we're from. Yeah. Sometimes a church family. It never happened to me, even being pregnant, because I was pregnant when I was homeless.
So you were pregnant and homeless?
Yes, sir.
Woo, that's a whole other.
Yeah.
How did you get the nutrients that you needed?
I wrote about. Some people did bring me food, but a lot of times places would help me. A few of the churches would bring me food, but we had a soup kitchen.
Okay.
And I would go there every other day and eat.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to meet a lot of nice people.
That's amazing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you experienced that whole range of it.
Yes, sir.
Range.
Yeah, rode a bicycle, walked.
Yeah.
Didn't have shoes sometimes. My shoes would get stolen or something.
And you think about someone who's going through, let's say they got a mental health crisis going on, and they're homeless, and now they're dealing with the anxiety and the stress of just daily living and not knowing how or where the next thing is coming from, I mean, that's only going to exacerbate it even further.
It's hard. I would sit there at night, and there was sometimes I'd be alone several days, by myself, but I would just sit there at night and cry. Because what else are you going to do? You don't have your family around no more. You don't have anything basically, except for what you have there. And you don't know what's going to happen next.
Did you find yourself praying more then?
I did, yes. I always there was a guy that came around and he gave me a Bible. And I had that Bible up until the day I got arrested when, that my bag got left when I got arrested. But yes, I had that Bible the whole time.
Yeah.
And I would sit at picnic benches or wherever and just read my Bible and read out loud.
Wow.
Which I don't even usually pray out loud, so.
Wow. Yeah, I remember hearing a story of a gentleman who he was telling me he was homeless, and he was sharing his story with me, and I think he was like in the middle, like in the median or something of an interstate, and just, I don't know how he ended up there, and he was just telling me him crying out to God, and I can only imagine some of the prayers that people have prayed when,
yes.
your back's against the wall.
Yes, I remember sitting by a retention pond and saying, Jesus, just help me figure this out, get me to the next step.
Wow. Now here you are.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk a little bit positive before we wrap this
Okay.
up. So you got a job now.
Yes, sir.
And you are in the process of regaining parental, I don't know the best way to say it. Reunification.
Yes, sir.
All right. What's that been like? Just kind of getting through all these different steps.
Oh man, that has been so hard and my children are my life. So I have 3 babies and I have 2. One's grown and one's almost grown. But 2 are with their dad. It has been so hard.
Okay.
It has been so challenging and so hard. I have had to get so much done in so little time.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get anything done until I got to Jericho. Because I just could not get to where I needed to go to get it done.
So let's talk about that really quick.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm not here to just, make Jericho look good. So that's not the point of this part. But explain that to people, like when you're in these kind of situations, you have to show proof of residency.
Proof of residency, income, parenting classes, substance abuse evaluation, mental health evaluation.
So you got 5 things there that you just mentioned. If you're homeless, how likely is it that you can get those 5 done?
It's hard, especially if you live in a county that doesn't provide those things, where you have to go to the next county, or you're not giving the opportunity to do it in that county by your caseworker or somebody.
Yeah.
They deny it to be able to be done there. So you have to go out of county to get it done and pay for it.
Yeah, that's what I really don't think people fully grasp, because think about if you're in a situation like that and you're trying to get these things done and then you come up against all these different roadblocks, that's only going to make the mental health crisis even harder. And it's only going to make the pull towards the substance even stronger.
And then they look at you if you get aggravated with them, because that's anger.
So being
and you only have 1 year. If you sign the case plan that they ask you to sign, that you don't have to sign, if you sign the case plan, you only have 1 year to complete it.
Okay.
No matter if they give it to you 6 months into the case, that's already 6 months. It's a year from the time they take the children from you for the safety placement or whatever, till that day they put on there. That's 1 year. So me, I get it 6 months in.
That clock's ticking.
There was only 6 months to get it done.
Wow. So Jericho, again, this isn't I'm not trying to just make Jericho look good here with this part, but being somewhere like Jericho provides that stability for you to get all these things done.
Yes, sir. I got everything. I didn't have anything done until I got to Jericho. And let's see, the 10th of tomorrow will be 6 months I've been here.
And you've got it all done.
And it's all done.
That's amazing. Well,
Yes, sir.
congratulations. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
sharing and just providing us all this wonderful information.
Yes, sir. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
Thank you. Yeah. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was our first interview. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I'm going to bring Sean back up here for a moment. So Sean, if Sean can join me back up here for a moment before we do our next interview, I'm going to have him come up and share just for a moment. Hearing that story, I want to hear his thoughts on what it looks like to Sean. Hopefully, you got to hear the story.
Yes, sir.
Hearing that last part where it's, she only had 6 months left to get that done. 6 months to do all that. Real quick, don't make this about Jericho, as just kind of in general, if you will, like, because there's a lot of organizations across the country who are doing this right now. Kind of share from your perspective, like, why it's so important to provide that space so people can get that stuff done.
Yeah, of course. So I think something we have seen even from some events we've done recently is just how difficult it can be coming out of different situations to get back on your feet. It is not set up as an easy thing. So I think any organization that can work with individuals to provide hand up to tackle those really difficult things, try to take that off of their load, let them know we're going to walk with you beside that, and get those things done. I think that's one of the greatest things that we can give to our residents.
I think one of the things that you and I have talked about, not just you and I, a lot of the staff, but that's why we went to this two-year plus model, if you will, because we see that it takes so much time.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time to help someone, because we're not control of all those different factors that that they have to do outside of us to get their life back together.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's there can be a lot stacked against you, and so to be able to have a resource or resources to kind of start tackling those, bringing them down, is a giant piece, I hope, to our residents, and I believe it is.
Yeah, good. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. I'm going to keep calling up from time to time, so be prepared.
Can't wait. Love it.
All right, I think we're going to get lined up for our second interview here really soon. But as you're seeing these interviews, as we're talking through with different individuals, hopefully it does spark conversation. And one of the ways that we can converse with you is share your comments, share your questions. If there's something going on in the interview that you would like to hear about, share it then. All right, here we go. We're ready for our next one. So tell everybody who you are.
Emily.
This is Emily. We're glad to have Emily with us. So we're excited to have you here.
I'm nervous.
You're nervous?
Yeah.
Oh my. What are you nervous
But it's God's story, not mine. Whatever I went through, He brought me through to be here.
Okay.
And I might cry, so.
Okay. All right. Well, if you cry, is it okay if I cry?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We have tissues available, ready to go. All right. Well, let's just start. Tell us your story. Where do you want to start at?
So, I grew up in a good family. My parents loved me. I wasn't abused or anything like that. I was a child who felt left out and not important and not heard, because I had an older sister who were 7 years apart. So that being my parents' first child, it's a different kind of love, I guess. Your first child. I mean, we love our kids the same, but the first child is just, I don't know, they had a relationship and I always felt not heard and left out. And that could just be, going through Jericho now, I have a whole different vision of life and looking back at everything. That could have just been me. It could have just been my
perception,
the way I perceived it. And maybe it wasn't that way. Maybe I took myself away because I was just more comfortable being alone. But that's not that's not how I always looked at it growing up. So I started using drugs when I was 11. 11.
Okay.
I was huffing gas, tripping on acid, pills, cocaine, crack, all of that.
To not trying to make you tell everything. How does an 11-year-old come in contact with
Marijuana?
the stuff that you said?
Yeah.
Did it start with marijuana
It
first?
started with marijuana first. My parents did smoke.
Okay.
They did things that I didn't know about until I got into my addiction. My dad said, I see my worst qualities in you. And we moved from Pennsylvania to here to get them away from it because he wanted a different life.
Okay.
So we moved down here. How did I get it? My friends.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think it's an important thing for us to acknowledge and share because people need to understand that how early it can start for people and the negative ramifications it has.
when I did it for the first time, it took me out of myself. I wasn't me anymore. I felt different. I found a substance that made me not feel like myself, and I liked that.
Yeah. And that's what I've learned through experience with so many individuals is that a lot of times the starting point with the substance is I'm trying to feel something different. I don't like the way I feel. And so it's almost like a self-medication. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I
Okay.
self-medicated, absolutely. So I thought that I was just having fun and I liked it, you know,
Sure.
like when I picked up, it was a choice.
Sure.
So I just continued to use because I enjoyed it. One substance, another substance, try this, try that. Before I knew it, when I got in trouble with the law at 19 and had to quit, I realized I couldn't quit as much as I wanted to quit. It now had control of me and I needed it. So addiction doesn't care if you're rich, if you're a mom, if you're
Yeah.
poor, what
How
you
old you
have,
are,
how
yeah.
old you
Yeah.
are. It doesn't matter. It's scary, you
Yeah.
know, like
So 19, you got in trouble with the law. Was that your first time?
Yes.
trouble?
Yeah. Well, I was 18. Well, actually, I was before 18, but they waited for me to turn 18
Gotcha.
to charge me as an adult.
Gotcha.
So that's where my marijuana use went to chemical drugs because I had to take drug tests for probation. And I'm like, oh, well, this will be out in 3 days. So at 19, I found crystal meth, and that became my drug of choice.
Okay.
Which is definitely, they say, the devil's drug. And it is.
Very prevalent in our area. Very
It's
prevalent.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And I believed in God. I went to church when I was 12 with my neighbor. I got baptized, not knowing what I was actually doing, you know, but I did it for the Bible with my name on it, you know. And I used to go to vacation Bible school, so I was brought up in church even if I didn't really understand what God actually did for us and what Jesus did on the cross. As today, being at Jericho, the relationship I have with him is a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just believe in him. I don't just know if I always had faith. That's the one thing I never lost. I was like, I'm going to get to where I'm going one day.
Yeah. So 19, you started using crystal meth.
Yes.
Okay.
And I fell in love with it.
How-
At 22, I found out I was pregnant with Avery.
Okay.
And now I'm in the system on probation, knowing that, you know, now I'm pregnant and I'm scared that I'm not going to finish on paper, which I did violate. Went on the run for a while, and I was just like, I knew I wanted to be a mom. That's the one thing I always wanted to be. As a child being left out, I would play with my stuffed animals and my baby dolls, and that just wasn't enough, you know. I used to look out my window like at these kids playing. It's going to sound crazy, but I used to want to know how I can get these kids home and kidnap them without getting in trouble by the cops because I wanted something real, you know.
Gotcha.
So at 22, I found out
You're pregnant. Now
I'm pregnant.
How much did that change you?
And I knew I still wanted to use drugs.
Okay.
I wanted to be a mom, and at this point, I'm 10 years into my addiction when I'm pregnant with her now. It has control of me. So my disease tells me, you still want to use, you still want to be a mom. So I got a lawyer, and I ended up doing jail time, so I would have no papers. Did my jail time pregnant with her, which was the best place I could have been. God works in mysterious ways, and he knew that's where I needed to be, and I was okay there because I was pregnant with her, and I knew I wouldn't be tempted to use drugs because, like I said, they're powerful. We're comfortable being uncomfortable, and we'll go without a home if that's what it means to have our drug of choice or whatever, you know. I ended up losing Avery to my sister. She took her in 2006 and told me I needed to go get some sleep, and I didn't. I took advantage of not having a child with me, and I just stayed awake, partied probably harder and more, because that's my disease.
Yeah.
It's tricky. It'll tell me anything. Oh, you don't have the kid now, you know, don't sleep. I started, I knew I needed to get help. I kept saying I need to go to rehab. One more time. Well, my disease now tells me you need to try IV with the needle. So I started shooting up because I didn't want to have any reason when I came back or got out of rehab to want to know what it's like to do it this way. So that's what my disease told me. So that's what I did.
Were you homeless during this period?
When my sister took Avery, that's basically in 2006. I wasn't allowed to live on the property anymore. So I was bouncing around, you know.
Like couch surfing?
Yeah, couch surfing. I wasn't actually in the woods yet. That didn't happen yet.
I think that's a clear thing to kind of interject with everybody that's watching or will watch. You know, in our area, when we talk about in the woods, that usually means homelessness. You know, we're not a metropolitan area, so there's a lot of people staying that way. But we also, when people are couch surfing and they don't have a place of their own, that's also homelessness as well. So
yes. Just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. In these woods, everywhere you go, there's a trail, and there's homelessness back there.
So you started that journey, that was your journey starting 2006? That's when you got out of the house?
That's when my sister took Avery, and I never really got her back until I finally went to rehab in 2008.
Okay.
The needle kept me out another year and a half because I just had to have one more. It just wasn't good enough. So
you were chasing it.
Yeah, I went to Las Vegas in 2008 for a year and felt closer to Avery being 2,000 miles away than 15 minutes down the road getting high. I knew I was where I needed to be. I had to get away from here because I did try to do it here, and I just couldn't do it. I would go back to old places to be like, oh, look how I'm doing, you know, I'm doing good, and it never works out. Subconsciously, my disease is laying there waiting silently, you know. So I went up to Vegas, came back 2009. I was out there for like exactly a year. Came back, went to medical school, learned the 20 steps of phlebotomy, got triggered, stole a box of needles, and was out again. Now I'm pregnant again with Kaylee. Battled, like, keep her, not keep her. My heart wanted to keep her. My family is like, you just got out of rehab, you know, so I like really battled. Kaylee, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but this is the truth. But I always wanted you. That's why you're here. Things just happened. My dad just didn't care for the guy I was with, didn't think I needed a child, and my grades in school were great, and people kept telling me God's not going to give you more than you can handle. And with my grades, I was able to have the car seat, the high chair, everything I needed for Kaylee. So I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep her, you know, because I wanted to be a mom. And so I had her. When she was a year old, I lost them again, and now DCF intervened again. I had that 1 year clean in Vegas because I wanted it. I knew I needed help. I was a drug addict and was a drug addict. I always labeled myself as an addict, and that I'll always be an addict. But today, going through Jericho, I know that that's just a label, and I'm not. I feel clean. I feel renewed and reborn. So I lost them, both of them. My sister, of course, took Avery, or no, Avery went to her grandma's because I had relapsed. I lost track of where
That's
I
okay.
was. Bring me back.
Well, so you had been in Vegas, you came back, you had a baby.
Yes, I had
And then-
Kaylee in 2011,
Yeah.
which is my faith number, Hebrews
Okay.
11.